We're gonna do a pre-job assessment here. These bins are around, I'm gonna say 32 to 35 years old. They store grain, but this unloader is a terrible setup. You have to move it to each bin. It's not a lot of fun in the winter. I've done a full repair of this thing, but a lot of these are just worn out, rusted out, or things are failing. I say they're 32 to 35 because we bought this land when I was about 16. So that's 24 years. I'm guessing they were 8 to 10 years old when we bought this land. The bins came with it, as well as that auger. That one, that's my conveyor. They've been good. They were my favorite bins for a long time, but now they're actually some of my least favorite bins. Got a couple of 3300s down at my uncle's that I hate, but these are right behind. However, after this summer, they're gonna be right behind those 30,000s that we put up last year. The one thing I don't like is loading here. It's just a small area. It was never really designed for semis. It's great with grain trucks. I'm sure at some point we'll just have to extend this pad and make a ditch further out along the fence. I wonder if I can find a manufacturing date somewhere, and that'll give us an idea. So I'm going to look at this. Right now I cannot find a manufacturing date, but as I said, I can safely say they're at least 25, closer to 35 years old. Now they're solid bins. The bins themselves, effectively nothing wrong with them, aside from the lids are the old stupid version, and that is something that's getting changed. You have to climb up, open a couple hinges, and slide the lid off. We're gonna get they call it the remote version, which is gonna be, they pull straight off the back, and there's gonna be a winch just like the 30,000s that are at the farm. So looking from the outside, you can see they're kind of rusted up. This one works. There's really not much wrong with that drag. You can see a couple of them have been taped up or patched up. That one leaks like a sieve. This one's really gross. You can see it's binged up, and I'm pretty sure this is the one where the drag doesn't work because you can't move the rod that activates the gearbox. So we have to grain back it out. This bin is probably in the best shape. It's also full. We're starting to haul out of that tomorrow. Let's go in this bin. Once we've got them all emptied, we will rip up the floor. I don't know if it shows, but a lot of the floors are dimpled down. For some reason, that guy always catches wind. I don't know why. So this one does not have any wear in the couple of them I had to patch up here. I think we should be able to salvage a couple of floors worth. We will see once we get them out. I don't know. This one I haven't fixed, but or no, I did. You can see it's just flashing there. Getting all new floors. You can see this one in particular is really banged out. A lot of the supports underneath have fallen over, and that's what's causing them to collapse. So the big summary, what's got to happen? Every one of these floors is pretty much, I wouldn't say totally screwed, but in not very good shape. One of the fans is no good, so it's going to get replaced. All of the unloads are no good or not good enough, so they're getting replaced. And we're getting rid of this. So each will have its own unloading drive. Also, we're putting new vents on and so we're going to the mushroom style. And we're putting the remote open bin lids on. So we have to rip out the floors, rip out the unloads, and clean up the floor. We had that excluded from the labor of doing the job. All right, first step is we're gonna yank the drags out. They're pretty easy to take off if you got the room to do it. Well, I guess we gotta undo this cable. Jesus. Seriously? Well, this put me in a great mood. Seriously, like, this is awesome. We got probably, I don't know. I just talked to Jace. He's over that way 10 miles or so, I guess further north. But he said he got 1.5 inches in about 20 minutes. It came down real hard while we were in the bin. You can see everything's flooding right here. We'll have to build this up. But that's the first solid rain we've had since we got the crop in. We were living off of subsurface moisture, and this rain showed us another issue that we got, is that we need to seal this because it's leaking into the bin. It's gross in there, but there you can see it's kind of wet down there. So I'll talk to a hot seal company and get them to come out and seal that all up on all 4 of these. Oh, this is great. This sucks. It's not a horrible job. It's just frustrating and tedious. I don't know if I'll be able to salvage a lot of this floor. Anyways, as you can see, we got the floor out of the first bin. There's some shoveling required around the drag. Have to dig it out, find all the mounts, and cut the anchors. But things are coming along. Slowly, but they're coming along. Well, it is the next day, and we have ourselves a bit of a mess to deal with, both inside and out. That bin is the worst. That one right there, inside. It had all sorts of canola. Probably 2/3 of the floor is full. You can see just caked on all the risers, or stands, I guess. It was a battle. We're definitely stiff today. We got that floor loaded up. We're going to take it over to my brother's shop. He's got a, I guess he's just over there. He's got a scrap metal bin. I think we'll probably have to either fold these or cut them in half or make them fit. I am going to hang on to the drags and the all the flighting out of these. I think the tubes are just going to have to get cut to pull them out. I don't know, we'll see. Talked to a scrapper and he said he can come pick it up in a few weeks, so we're probably just going to move everything out of the way. Gotta yank on this. We've also got a bunch of scrap steel at the farm. Got an old broken up disc and maybe a cultivator. And like our scrap steel pile we can get rid of too. So hopefully they don't show up in the middle of harvest. Got all the augers over there, all the flighting. I think we're gonna sell that. It's all pretty good. I might try and pull the flighting out of that too and see if it's, I know the bottom end's pretty razored out. I'd kind of like to use that one as a treating auger, to be honest. Be a lot, one less thing to worry about in the spring. It's not going to be big enough to keep up to the new U-troughs. I'm considering building the 10-inch auger, electric 10-inch auger. So we'll see on that. But for now, we got all the flashing off of here. I'm gonna crawl in. I better grab a mask. I don't know if I have one. And cut the anchors. Down just a little. Yep. This is gonna get me sick. Whoa. Back up just a little bit. Nowhere to freaking pry. There. Maybe just a little bit. Go. Might be a bit heavier this one. Set her down.
Chain around. Chain around about there, around there, and I'll just lift it up.
And I'll hit it with the pry bar. We just, yeah, we'll chain it on the end of the forks, and I can. Yeah. Okay.
Just pull back.
A little more. That's not in there, right? Go down before it drops on us. Down. Go up a little. A little more. Do that. Get through there. Okay, a little bit. Oh, she's spicy in here, man. Come in a bit. Go that way a bit. Oh, that way. That went way better than expected. You can see this would be the outside of the bin, so it was leaking up against there. All three of them were leaking. One of them, I can't remember which one. I think it's the far one. This guy here piled up. Yeah, that one. Fixed. And now we wait to do the last one, which should be empty on Thursday. Ew, oh, that's just Durham. Thought it was a bug in my hair. Well, we actually got the bin bottoms vacuumed out. It was a noisy, messy, dirty job. A lot of the dust went out so we tried hydrovac in the first bin. It took 4 hours. I was out spraying, that was what Dad said. And we did the rest with the grain vac. Did a pretty okay job, but the guy had to be running a shovel and chip it up, and plugged up a few times. It would just puke out all the dust and light shit. So we had to take it apart a few times. Now it's all gummed up, so we're gonna have to wash it off. So I'm taking it back to the farm. So this is the bin that was hydrovac'd. You see the floor, they all have a crack or two, nothing serious. What's more concerning is that there's gaps in places. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait a couple days for things to dry off, and I'll come in with a broom and we'll sweep this up properly. Clean that up. And and then everything will be ready for the bin crew, or the assembly crew, I guess. Come on. This fan needs to come off because, oh, sorry. Well, yeah, that fan I think is the one that doesn't work. This fan needs to come off because its transition still has a bunch of junk in it. And not sure if you can really see, but the fan itself is full of junk. Not really sure how that happened. This bin Dad did by himself. Kind of upset that he did that. He is 62 years old. He should know better. Especially when I'm doing something like running the sprayer when we could easily switch. Put me in the bitch jobs. So we're gonna let some of this dry up. You can see there's some sprouted grain. I'll come in and shovel and sweep. Took me all afternoon today to clean out the grain back. I think I ran over 1,000 gallons through it. A lot of chipping and scraping, and not a lot of fun being had there either. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of an inventory around here, and it seems as though right now we could have the bin crew here. We would just need to finish cleaning up the bin floors, which is maybe an hour of work. And as I said, I'm just going to let it dry out for a day or two, just because it's going to be easier to sweep up, clean up. Once that's done, everything on the inside that would prevent us from filling the bin is here and ready to go. Now, obviously, we want the crew to come and do it all at once. We don't. So as it stands right now, we're missing the motors and one fan and something else me and Dad mentioned earlier, and I can't remember what it was. Just remembered, it was the mushroom caps. We're changing out the vents on those. I just don't like that style. Some of them have screens. Some of them, the screen gets blown out. Like that one. And then the birds start getting in.